Okay, let's talk a little bit more about healing. How do I know if I'm really healing or if I'm spiritually bypassing? That may be a term some of you have heard, maybe you haven't. But if you're spiritually bypassing, it means, like many families like to sweep everything under the rug. Something happens, you ignore it, nobody talks about it. It's like, nope, I don't know, nope. We just move on and pretend like that didn't happen. Everyone puts on a smiley face. Everyone's cool about it. Like, we know something's happening. You just run from your issues. You ignore your shadow. You're like, I've got this dark side and I'm going to hide it down in a deep, dark corner, like crevice in my mind. If you can't look at your shadow, if you're running from your issues, if you're pretending like love and light and happiness and sunshine and rainbows are just bursting out of you at all times, but there's really some dark sadness inside, there's some anger that's just waiting to get out. Those are all examples of spiritual bypassing. If you can't address the elephant in the room with this relationship you're in, like whoever that is, if you're unable to talk about these things because it's so uncomfortable, those are all ways to spiritually bypass. And that is not keeping you, that is keeping you in a lower vibration. No one is their high vibe, shiniest self if you can't talk about the hard things, if you can't advocate for yourself, if you can't show up to the hard conversations, even though they can be scary and difficult, but you're still able to show up. To be able to see your shadow, love your shadow, acknowledge your shadow. Shadow work is very important in the healing work. We're not trying to be perfect. I think spiritual bypassing is a way too. If you're like, I just want to be perfect, and so I'm going to just pretend that I'm like this perfect little package, where perfection is not the goal. Wholeness, completion, being fully embodied, being grounded, knowing who you are, that's the goal. And if you're running, hiding, ducking, dodging, those are all ways to keep you from being aligned. An aligned person, an embodied person is like, yeah, I've got some dark shit. And they can own it. And there's power in that. Like when you can own every piece of yourself, the good and the bad, the light and the dark, that is power. And you'll be unshakable. So that's how you know when you're on your healing path. If you're like, here's my shit. And you don't need to tell your shit to everyone, but at least you know it. And maybe like a close friend or two. There you're like, I can be real.